Hi ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's Nate and the Mutts here. So they're all asleep and hello. Thanks Angel. Looks like you've been doing, thanks for the noise. Looks like you've been doing some gardening. Banjo, can you move? I love you, but you keep pawing me and licking me. So this is our puppy rescue facility. My name's Nate Barnes. And lick me. Okay, move now. Thanks. I don't lick you, you don't lick me. You can hop up, baby dog. This little one's got two busted hips. So we're trying to save up some money to get him some robot hips. The animals that live here have previously been deemed or had an aggressive act that they weren't suitable. A lot of them prior to these ones, a lot of local now, but prior to this were favours for rescue organisations, shelters, large companies that deal with thousands of animals all the time. So every now and again they fall in love with one, don't they, baby dog, that doesn't fit the profile that I helped bring into Australia, the behavioural assessment. That's now sort of outdated. But originally in 2003, 2004 and 5 I was at the RS those years, RSPCA New South Wales. I also did TV ads with Montana, my German Shepherd dog, for RSPCA pet insurance and all the puppies running across the screen for 8 years. So we're looking at finding new ways to resolve issues for the animal world. I basically just work with ones that they can't fix, and as I said, every now and again they fall in love with one that they can't save, and because these people are saving thousands and put their love and effort in, and I do it all for free for people that I help. After my accident, I had to learn to walk again, not fully body thing, but moved neck, back, crushed. Pretty good compared to a lot of other people. About 2 years to return to work. Worked for a month in the mines. I was still doing the animal stuff. And I just couldn't do it anymore. I was properly broken from the whole incidents. So the two quick solutions for the animal world. That's a little bit of a history of me. How do I go to make this look at me? Hello. I know you shouldn't have light in the background and all this, but good with dogs. Puppy politics, not so good with filming and several other things in life. So if we had free desexing, and this works for all countries, not just Australia, but if we had free desexing set up where everyone could take their animal to the vets had a subsidy for that desexing from the government, which either reduced their tax or they just got given tax credits, offering free desexing in every vet clinic or everywhere that wanted to do it. Also, the RSPCA and AWL, Animal Welfare League, and Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, they've got buses that go around and offer vet care, help, whatever else, education and things, which is fantastic. However, it's not quite enough with all the money that's given, specifically speaking, that I know about with the RSPCA. New South Wales, we did SBS Insight and a few other programs on, it was called a tail end, on the financial thing, the financial and physical cost of continuing to cull animals at 250,000 cats and dogs every year. It has progressed, but it hasn't been solved, and it's a very easy thing. So let's have the bus at Byron Bay Animal Wildlife Mobile Hospital cost them about $700,000 to fit out, which it has currently, and they do an amazing thing. It has veterinary offices, surgery areas, holding areas, other things that basically you could utilise for desexing of every animal in Australia and then New Zealand, because we're right there. So if they only cost $700,000 and it's a trailer that a semi-trailer can come and attach to, pick up, move and take to another location, if they just went to all of the outside city area, the rural areas, whilst the city and the other vets were given the tax break and tax benefit to be able to offer this free desexing and put it in there and give them a real incentive. Unfortunately, the veterinary industry has a 4 times more likely suicide rate than other ones. They deal and help everyone, and there's not a lot of support systems there for them. So with these trailers that go to the rural and the other areas, I can't fix the whole problem all at once. The city ones, there's too many people in there. However, we've got a lot of rural areas that can help. And if we offered tax deductions for the city vets and every vet that wanted to do desexing, and change their income bracket status, give them a break for 5 years. Let's let them reset. Let's fix this continuing problem of people not being able to afford to get vet help and whatever else. If we had all these vans just moving around small rural towns where they were offering free desexing and free consults of basic vet care with sponsorship from the pharmacological industry written all over the van, all over the trailers, had it on YouTube, had followings, did education at the places where they were, so they're doing desexing, free vet care, and education/training. This is going to reduce the majority of the issues for the councils, which therefore they're going to have their rangers freed up. If we had a program where the rangers could actually relocate the animals back to the homes, instead of just taking them to the pound and charging the people money, it's not their fault, it's just what they've got to do. And if there's a hole in the fence, instead of charging the people anywhere from $100 to $500 to $600 for a single night accommodation for a lost dog, if you've got 2 dogs that get out because someone leaves your gate open and you're on a pension or a fixed income or running a business, $1,200, if they're there for 2 days, 3 days, 1 day, whatever it is in your local area, is not a reasonable outcome that solves the problem. If they've got out, let's, from a fence, a hole, someone opening a gate, let's utilise the resources that we've got within these communities and the government. Let's utilise men's sheds or other great community groups that help and volunteer and do things to, when the dog gets out because it's got a hole, we return to there, the rangers do an inspection of the yard to help the people. If there's a hole there, when they know where and they take the dog back, the people then fix that problem. If the dog's jumping over the fence, we've got the free training. If the animals often are roaming because they want to mate, they want to reproduce when their hormones in 2 times of the year become excessive. So if we can have free desexing, reduce the vets' incomes, give them a bit of a break in life just to chill out for a little while. During our COVID times and our military times and everything else, we can find the money if we have to. We can just find it. We can, because $700 and whatever million dollars, no, $1 billion. Surely we can find every 71% or 69% of Australians, the highest per head per capita of owning animals to living within a household that are considered pets. Surely we can start to look after those people who are looking after us. During those COVID times when we couldn't go out, when we couldn't go places, when we couldn't go anywhere, those vets are the ones who, and their vet staff and the administrators and the secretaries and the people delivering them and everything associated in the animal industry. Let's just give them a break. We can't give across-the-board tax breaks. We'd love to. Let's just give vets the ability to desex animals basically for free. Let's get these trailers. If you had 20 trailers in Australia, that's $14 million total, right? To buy 20 trailers that have free desexing. Yes, you got to pay the vets their wages and stuff. Let's pay them significant income from the people who are getting their animals desexed, have the option of $5 a fortnight, $2.50 a week. If you go and get your animal desexed and you've got no money, but the majority of people I've met in the low socioeconomic status, they're not very much money, they love their animals and they'll do more for their animals than themselves. They'll look after them before themselves. So if you can help them out, they're more than willing to help in return. Price of living these days, they can't do it. So let's just do it at the ability to be able to pay at $2.50 a person per week or per animal, being whatever, whether it is vet care or whatnot, the government can find the money to help the things that help us. This gives a solution and an ability to be able to resolve some problems. And the second bit, so desexing and vet, that's all in one. That's doing a holistic part of these vet trailers after 5 years. And you don't have to desex your animal at all. But you do have to register your animal if it's not desexed. So when we end up with litters in shelters and pounds and rescue organisations and farms, we've got the ability to trace and find the people who created that animal for a profit or for free, either way. But if desexing's free and we still choose not to utilise that, that now should become our responsibility to be responsible for the animals that we create. Once we sign it over and you give a letter to the person you gave that to, perfect, responsibility passed. But we just keep killing and we just keep wasting millions and millions of dollars worth of taxpayers and charity and people volunteering and all these things for the same problem over and over again. So this is just an idea I have. So all of those trailers, when there's a disaster, a fire, a flood, tornado, hurricane, not that we have those so much in Australia, tsunami, earthquake, whatever the natural or otherwise man-made disaster may be, the trailers, we've got 20 minimum around the country that have all these veterinary capabilities that can go there, help resolve the issue, whether it's native, domestic, commercial animals of whatever sort. We've now got a resource that we can utilise like an emergency response team. Now, in 2013, I assisted some amazing people down in Sydney with the 100 fires in 100 days, the largest movement of animals during a disaster in Australia's history, with creating the idea. The people who really ran it was Karen at Heavy Horse Haven and all her amazing helpers, males, females, kids, and Misty. I had the idea to utilise the showgrounds to house animals when fires had occurred, and Misty had previously organised and received medals from the Australian military, because she's amazing. She'd previously organised in the the fires in Melbourne. Thank you, Angel. On how to use the showgrounds as a gathering place and a resource distribution, and basically everything's already there for animals. So we had llamas, sheep, goats, cattle, people bringing their caravans. If they know now across Australia, whenever there's a disaster, you go to your town further away. We need sister towns a little bit like we used to have back in the old days. Check it out, Google sister towns. We've got them all around the world. But if there's a fire, where I live, we had fires for 18 months. So if we had fires here, but a known location where we could go and safely house our animals and pen them up, whether they're cattle, chickens, fish, birds, sheep, llamas, goats, dogs, whatever floats your boat. If we've got a known location, and when that becomes full, Phil Gould and the Penrith Paceway and the amazing people down there opened up another resource. They shut down the Paceway when our place became full, and they opened another one. And those communities that are in a safer place than where you are have other resources and things that are donated going there. An organisation that I was a large part of was called NAGA, National Animal Rescue Groups of Australia. And they facilitated the donation of well over $250,000 worth of goods for the animals and the people and the area just by the internet. So there's so many simple ways. We just need one big, simple plan that works across the country. 20 trailers, $14 million. 40 vets, because there's 2 a day for 10 hours, happy days. If you really wanted to do it, 40 vets, $100,000 a year. Let's make it tax-free. Let's actually give them an incentive to do this, to solve the problems of the community that we just keep paying money for, like a Band-Aid solution. How many rangers, how many pound bills, how many fines? If you've got problems with the dogs at every dog park, why don't we have actual pictures and QR codes or links on signs and the back of seats at dog parks that show you how to resolve dog dog-bite conflicts, show you how to resolve issues that are occurring when one dog's standing with its tail in the air, the other dog cowering, how to resolve that, what to do. Why don't we have these? We've got the technology, we've got the ambition, the desire to change. We're stuck in the old ways. Your dog gets caught by the dog catcher, the dog catcher's bad, they take him, they fine you, you get it back, it does it again. Well, the dog catcher's not really bad, they're trying to help you and save your dog from being killed. Let's give them a positive role so they can return it to your house. If there's a problem with your house, fix the house. If there's a problem with your dog, fix the problem. Have free training, because the rangers, if we're returning the animals to the people and there's free desexing, free vet care, free medical care, the PDSA, People's Dispensary for Sick Animals in England, does it. There's many other organisations all around the world that do this for free. We've paid so many billions of dollars for things we're out of our hands. Let's now think and utilise all of our resources and solve a problem for the future that's actually going to be preventative. All of those trailers have Starlink or the satellite connection for communication, so they can not only use it for people come there in the area that if they need communication they can come there. There can be marketing all over the trailer. There can be links so you can get free education. When there's a disaster, people and floods and things that don't have communication, these trailers can be picked up by helicopters and dropped into these areas as communication satellite networks, connections for there. We should also have those points and drop-off sections during any disaster. We used to drive through fires, Bondi Vet, Chris Brown, all of those people. They were amazing. All of the vets in Sydney, we asked for help. We had these showgrounds. We needed help from the vets. People just came. Bondi Vet and Sophie and Jess and all the amazing staff from 2012 and 13. Sue Barker at Dog Rescue Newcastle, the Hunter Animal Rescue. All of these people, the fires started continuing and everyone looked after each other. Jordan at a little tiny pet store called Anypet. It's shut down now, but at like a remote area. His place, he offered help and gave donations, and then a couple of weeks later, his place was burning. He had to evacuate his store. We need resources and ability to just have a known solution to a problem. You need them to sex, go to that trailer. They might have to drive 200 k's to go to the remote rural town, and they might have to get there. I would have it 24 hours a day. Thank you, Angel. I would have it 24 hours a day so that people can drive there from wherever they are, get their animal treatment fix done, resolve that. The money that we spend sometimes that seems excessive actually assists and saves lives and increases productivity in so many other ways. That people don't have to worry about their animal being sick and then looked after. They can go to work more. They don't have to, you know the story. I'm Nate Barnes. It's been a very long, it's not a rant. This is just my beliefs, my things. I talk fast. I've done animal behaviour and do seminars for 20 plus years now. Over 20,000 dogs, cats, clients, people, horses. And I guarantee things can be fixed before I leave. This can be fixed. All we've got to do is create. It only takes 50,000 signatures to get something put into Parliament as a suggestion. Let's just do 2 million. We need 2 million people to agree with these ideas that the government or someone, Twiggy Forrest, Gina Reinhart, they've done so many amazing things. They get so many negative things. Let's all combine. Let's utilize the tech sector, the medical sector. Everyone that has an animal, if you've made a contribution, you can buy your own trailer and fund your own vets and make the money back through positive PR, marketing. The government can do this across the board and solve all of our solutions. Then you can have an emergency response thing. The Blue Steel during this offered to have $100,000. Thank you. And NRMA offered the insurance. Blue Steel offered to have $100,000 worth of fencing or cattle grids set up at each major showground around the country that can be then transported to those locations. There was people offering Coates Hire, gave us all of their small in Penrith, Western Sydney. during the fires, gave us all of their equipment for free. We just had everything we wanted. Sydney Horse Transport. I was travelling down to go and try to help and offer ideas and then go back to the Hunter and deal with life. And Sydney Horse Transport Trailer was at the spot I was getting fuel as I was recovering from the accident, dealing with my 9.5-year court case from just sitting stationary on the highway. So I seen them. I said, "Oh, can you help us transport animals to these showgrounds from properties that are burning?" He got his boss on the phone. We had a chat. By the time I'd got to Western Sydney, they had trailers there ready to transport things. There's so many other organisations that are willing and wanting to help. We just need to enact this. And this generation, being social media people now of all generations, but this generation of us being able to create change by an internet petition. Let's just do this. Let's solve some problems. Let's resolve some issues. And if it works across Australia, you can do this in whatever country you're around the world. Same deal. Few vans, petition the government, reduce taxes, free desexing. You can't offer operations in certain amounts, so you've got to obviously set a limit on the amount of the free stuff. But then there needs to be exceptions to that rule, and people can then apply and say, "I really need help, and I'll pay $2.50 a week for 5 years." I would. I have. Much love from Nate and the Mutts. Hope it helps. See ya.